There are 2 rooms in the game where you can crouch behind cover. And if you equip the infinite rocket launcher and press aim while crouching then shoot, you will be standing normally after the shot. And if you aim the knife and let go, Leon would crouch no matter where he is in the room. And he would also have the knife stuck to his hand on top of whatever weapon he has equipped. And this can be done with some other weapons, like the normal rocket or the sniper rifle. There are a lot of places you can go out of bounds, but the earliest one is on the farm. And there are 2 places you can go out of bounds. One is usually only done for the GameCube version, and the other one can be done on all 30 FPS versions, but it requires a specific lineup. Another out of bounds is also exclusive to 30 FPS, and it's on the waterfall section, and it skips this wave of enemies you normally have to go through, but you can fall out of bounds if you do it incorrectly. Ashley is really powerful, and we can see that if we position her correctly near a locked door, and she'll break it open in 2 hits, and Leon would need 3 kicks to do that. She can also open this locked door without going from the other side, and like I said, you have to position her correctly. And make sure to keep her weight near the door, because the door will get locked again, and you'll be stuck inside, and it's harder to position her from the inside. Also, this door is normally locked on easy mode, because the castle door would be already open. But again, Ashley can still open it.
Wait.
She can also push Leon out of bounds in a few rooms. You just have to time your run with her opening the door. And on this room, if you go around, you'll find a light in here, and below it is an out of bounds typewriter. And you can use this typewriter to save, and if you load that save, you'll still be out of bounds and Ashley would be with you. And I think this only works on 30 FPS. There are 2 different ways to skip the minecart section. The first one requires Ditman and it only works on 60 FPS, and the second one doesn't require the Ditman and it works for both 30 and 60 FPS. You can also skip the Salazar boss fight, and again this only works on 30 FPS. And if you skip him then come back, you can take his money while he's still alive. One of the best ways to kill a red zealot early before he goes to the turret is a speedrun strat, and you basically line up Leon in here and throw an incendiary grenade at this exact position, then immediately jump down. And you should only have 1 incendiary grenade, otherwise Leon would do this reload animation and that slows you down, and it won't work. If you do this correctly, he will be burned down by the incendiary grenade. And you need to let this cutscene play, because if you skip it he just teleports further away, and now you can just finish him off. On this truck section right before you get to the castle, after you destroy the truck, if you're facing away from the door, enemies will spawn from it. But if you just keep facing it, they won't spawn until you look away from it. The voice actor for Leon is the same one as the merchant. Ashley can teleport to you if you reach certain cutscene triggers, and she will teleport even if she is grabbed. Every character in Mercenaries has a special animation when holding an egg. Using mouse to spawn Ashley right before the logo, you'll see that she has an unused animation for getting in the boat with you, because on a normal playthrough, she never gets in the same room with the boat. Most puzzles are easier when you know the answer. The first one can be solved in 2 moves, either up right or up left, and this one is 2-3-1, and the one on the gallery is 1-2-3-4, and this one on the island is 3-2-1. And the hardest puzzle in my opinion is the optional puzzle behind the church, and the solution is 3-3-3-4-4-4-3. On some rooms you can see some clear reflections on the ground, and this effect is achieved by lowering the opacity of the floor and having symmetrical walls below it. The only enemies you can get near the boat are the dogs who spawn in here right after you come back at night, and you can use the harpoons to kill them. On the cabin fight, enemies become passive towards you if they grab Lewis. This log outside the cabin doesn't have any collision, and you can shoot enemies through it. When the cabin fight starts, if you hit Lewis he gives you an item, but if you keep hitting him he will kill you.
Adios, Leon.
After the cabin fight, if you drop all the ladders and tell Ashley to wait outside, and then you go back to the top floor and tell Ashley to follow, you'll see this icon on Ashley, and that means she can't or she doesn't know how to get to you. The first enemy you kill in the game is probably not dead. You can never blow his head even if you headshot him, and this could mean that he's the one who tries to kill you on chapter 1-2. A new glitch was just found a few weeks ago, and it allows the player to skip the fight in the knight's room. And this is done by using a fire grenade to interrupt the QTE on the knight, and then you enter the room in a specific way and press the take button on the grail, and then go outside the room and open and close the inventory. And you'll get the prompt to take the grail while being outside of the room, so you can just take it and leave. On the shooting range, if you shoot the moon, the lighting of the room would change. And if you shoot the beehive, you'll get bees flying around the room. And if you shoot the castle, you'll hear Salazar laughing. And if you shoot the chimney, you'll get smoke on the room. And if you shoot the tree, you'll see some birds flying. And I'm not sure exactly what triggers this, but I think if you just keep shooting in the background, you'll get a catapult and some fireworks. And the stars also start to flicker if you shoot them. You can go out of bounds in the first Novi's room, and to do that you just have to do the Ditman glitch and run to this corner and face this wall. Now you start backing down slowly until you see the jump down prompt, and then you jump down and run to the left, and you should be out of bounds. And you'll find some magnum ammo in here and some money above it, but the money is harder to reach. Normally, if you go through this door in the village fight, you'll get a cutscene showing you the chainsaw guy, and then he will spawn outside. But if you go directly to the farm, you'll find the chainsaw guy waiting in there instead. But if you kill the one on the farm door and then go to the house, you'll fight 2 chainsaws in the village, and one of them drops 10k, and the other one drops a ruby that also sells for 10k. There are only a few villager models in the game, so you'll be seeing a lot of the same enemy. And since Dr. Salvador is dressed the same way as Don Diego with a mask on, it's safe to assume they have the same face, and you can actually see this in the village cutscene. If you slow down the video, we see the camera pass on what looks like a Don Diego, but when it comes back it's much slower, and we can see that he's holding a chainsaw. You probably know that you can use a rocket instead of the dynamite on this boulder in chapter 4.3, but there's also an out of bounds skip in here. If you go up here and line yourself around this area and jump down, you will be out of bounds, and you can just run into this wall to get a little higher, and then run to the other side of the boulder, and then run to this wall to get lower and snap back in bounds. And if you don't go high enough, you will be blocked halfway through by an invisible wall, so make sure to go back and get high enough. The inventory automatically places items from top to bottom and from left to right, meaning that the next ammo box you take is gonna go in here, because that is the first empty slot from top to bottom and from left to right. That's why on a speedrun you'll see the runner adjusting the inventory or picking up items in specific order, so each item goes exactly where it's supposed to go. You can shoot the praying zealous with a rocket launcher, and the result is hilarious. You can also use an incendiary to achieve the same effect. However, if you use a grenade or a flash, you won't see the same result. And to get a similar cutscene using a grenade, you have to throw a grenade and quickly change to another weapon and fire anywhere in the room, and you'll get the cutscene interrupted by the grenade. On the first phase of the Krauser fight, if you climb this ladder and just wait in here, he can never catch you, and he'll keep jumping up and down. In the Krauser fight right after the first encounter, he can either be hiding behind these walls, or he can be on the rooftop in front of you. But if you restart the checkpoint after this door, he will always be behind one of these walls. And you can just keep running, and if you don't stop or hit anything, he won't catch you. On the second phase of the Krauser fight, if you stay in this building for too long, you will get ambushed by turrets. After fighting Krauser, if you go through this door, you hear the bombs he set up explode. And if you go back, you'll see that the way is closed. There are a few optional cutscenes in the game. The first one is after you kill the first guy, and if you go to the cliff, you'll see the car crash scene. Another one is after you get strangled by Mendez and go back. And the next one is before the Lagos fight, and you have to go in here to see it. And another one is after you kill the Iron Maiden and continue on your way. The villagers usually drop less money than the castle or the island enemies. On some rare cases, you can get 19k pesetas on a single drop. You probably know that if you keep waiting near chicken, they drop eggs, and if you kill them, they drop nothing. But on mercenaries mode, the brown chickens drop items if you shoot them. This game has a feature called difficulty adjustment, which is a value that changes based on how well you're playing the game. If you play well, it goes up, and the game becomes harder, and vice versa. However, on professional, it's locked to the highest value. The game has 2 kinds of item drops. Some are static drops like this scroll that always drops a grenade, or this box that always has a flash, and the rest are mostly random drops that change based on what items you have. On this regenerator room where you send Ashley to open the door from the other side, if you just keep spamming the follow button, she will clip through the wall before it opens. At the end of chapter 5.1, you'll see 2 big guys guarding Ashley's room, and if you avoid them and go save Ashley, they will despawn, because on the next chapter, there's another wave of enemies. On the Verdugo fight, we get some QTEs before facing the boss, but if you use the Ditman glitch and keep running forward, if you get the X and C QTE, you can just keep running forward and you won't get hit. And this only works on 60 FPS. If you carry over the special rocket launcher into New Game Plus, and you fire it right away at Sadler in the final fight, it one-shots him, and the cutscene where Ada gives you the rocket launcher never happens. When you're saving Ashley after Louis dies, a red guy appears with some enemies, and if you don't kill him, more enemies would spawn. One of the things that cancels the Disman glitch is aiming with the striker. But if you aim with a knife, then hold the weapon aim button, you can let go of the knife aim button, and you'll be aiming the striker with the Disman on. Normally, you can't have two instances of the same weapon. However, there are 3 exceptions to this rule. The first one is the shotgun on the village. If you don't take it on the first chapter and buy it from the merchants in chapter 1-2, then go to the village and take it, you'll have 2 of the same shotgun. You can also do the same thing on the free rocket launcher and the broken butterfly on the castle. One cutscene you probably haven't seen is on chapter 2-1. If you go down this rope, there's usually no need to go back. But if you try to go back, you'll see this cutscene of Leon climbing the rope. And we can see the same thing on the Salazar boss fight. Let me know down in the comments how many of these facts you knew, and if you got any more facts of your own, feel free to drop them below. You guys brought so many good ones in the last video, so thank you for that. And you can check out this video where I explain how the new night skip I talked about was found, and to know exactly how it works. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.